Hello, and I'm so happy you could join me for a cuppa this weekend. So, today's discussion is a very interesting one. It's a call to all of us women to ponder and ask ourselves, are we really encouragers? I've often read that behind every successful woman is a tribe of other women who motivate, guide, and can encourage her. But behind every successful woman, there is also a tribe who could choose to belittle, gossip, hurt, sometimes even happy to just watch her melt under pressure. Which tribe do we belong to? Is what we're discussing today. So I managed to catch up with a few of my besties for a cuppa this week, and they shared some very encouraging moments in their own lives where either they were encouraged or they sought to encourage. And by the end of the show, I'm quite sure we will all get an answer to this big question. Do we women seek to encourage our own tribe? The corporate world, as we all know it, can sometimes turn into a battlefield, one of unhealthy competition, stealing of ideas, jealousy, and a lot of gossip. So I wonder if it is practically possible for women to be encouragers in an environment like this. Let's see what Orleen has to say about this. Orleen D'Souza has been part of the corporate world for around 20 years before she decided to branch out to follow her passion. Today, she is a French tutor on weekdays and an MC on weekends. So let's bring in Orleen.
Hi, Natalie.
Hey, Orleen, so lovely to have you here.
Nice to be part of your program and share my cup of tea with you.
I rather say cheers when I'm talking to you, Orleen.
Yes, definitely.
Orleen, it's quite well known that the corporate world comes as a package deal. Besides the financial benefits and lovely perks, you also have to face stiff competition, jealousy, you name it. So, what's your take on whether it's possible to really encourage women in an environment like this?
Well, yes, Natalie, that's true. The corporate world has its plus and minus sides. Gossips, backstabbing, demeaning, all make for its own screen drama. Fortunately, we see an increase in the number of women on top. I guess apart from the skill and talents, we can also bring values such as empathy, caring, understanding across to our colleagues. So, yes, if you ask me, I'm sure it is possible for women to be encouragers.
Oh, so lovely to hear that, Orleen. So lovely. And I hope our viewers watching today pick this little tip up from Orleen, because she's confirmed with such great experience, 20 years, that it is certainly possible that we can encourage other women and to work. Now, here's a tricky question for you, Orleen, and I'm so eager to know what you have to say about this. Well, most of us have worked under women bosses. Now, in this case, which tribe is it better to be a part of? One that helps her to fix her crown, or one that stands by and watches her fall along with her crown?
Good question. And yes, a tricky one too. When it's a boss lady, it can go either ways. You mentally sync and have a great work understanding. But if not, it's not just disappointing, it's hurtful that two women working towards the same goal can't blend in. It's definitely better to fix another's crown, cause its gleam may just shine upon you. I've had my share, Natalie, of being boss lady, and I truly feel that your success is only determined by the growth and the success of the other women you work with.
Oh, amazing, amazing sharing on teamwork, Orleen. And besides teamwork, even how your concern for the ones working with you really matters. So there's no doubt about it. I'm sure you are a star there, like you are a star today in all our lives. So, thank you so much for your honest sharing. And especially, because it
Pleasure.
comes from you with such a whole lot of experience in the corporate world. So, really, thank you so much. And may you continue to be that bubbly, fun loving, beautiful friend to me and to those who are close to you.
Always.
Hi, Merlin. I'm so happy that you could join me for a cuppa this evening. So please introduce yourself to our viewers.
Hi, Nats. It's so lovely to be here today. Hi, everybody. My name is Merlin Concessio, and I live in Malad, Mumbai. I am a stay at home mom to two grown up boys. I'm also an involved person as a Sunday school catechist in Our Lady of Lourdes Church, Orlem. Besides that, I am also involved as a parish counselor in my vicinity to around about 65 families.
Wow, Merlin, that's really a big team. So while we're on this interesting topic of women being encouragers, do you have any experience to share, considering the fact that you are interacting and coordinating with so many people in your community?
I'm really glad you asked this question, Nats, because right now everybody is in a lockdown mode. Nobody wants to move out. We're so scared. We want to stay connected, but yet we know that we have been warned. So, how do you go about it? I personally find that staying connected via WhatsApp was a boon for me at a time like this. I've always been connected to my friends and a few of our family members, but now the community just got bigger. We were in touch with everybody. We raised funds for the daily wage earners who are not earning anything at a time like this. So via our parish, we raised funds, sent the rations there, and the parish priest was distributing it to everyone, irrespective of a particular community. Aside from that, sometimes at a time like this, nobody is going out. We stay cooped up at home. We feel little low. We sense that amongst women. We pick it up faster. And we were in touch with so many of our good friends, distant friends, reconnecting with friends, and just having fun. There were times when there was just like general casual conversations and everything. In fact, recently there was a woman who decided to get in some vegetables from out of Maharashtra, from the farmers directly to us. So she sent it to somebody else, and everybody got to know of it. And we actually promoted staying at home. We promoted a business right out there in Nasik. So it was so wonderful, and really, like, it was so good, the feeling that we can do something whilst we are in our homes.
Amazing, amazing, Merlin. But I would also like to point out while you are talking that you are so passionate about encouraging as you speak and the way you're explaining to all of us. So it goes both ways. You are an encourager, and that in itself encourages another. So keep doing what you do best, Merlin.
Another thing, what we have noticed is keeping in touch with senior citizens at a time like this really helps them, because some of them are alone. Some of them may have family, but they need to connect. So it doesn't matter on how old you are or how young you are. The fact is that we inquire, we stay connected, and we make each other feel so good, at a time like this.
Absolutely. So true, Merlin. So true. And so happy to see how well connected and how encouraging the families in Evershine are. And there is no doubt about it, Merlin, that you are doing a fab job. So, and as a good friend of yours, I can absolutely vouch for that. So keep encouraging the people around you and continue to do what you do best, using your talents for the glory of God.
Thank you, Natalie.
Hey, Ansel, I'm so glad you could join me for a little discussion over tea. So, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Hey Nat, thank you for inviting me. I'm Ansela Martins, mom to two gorgeous girls, a homemaker, and a kindergarten teacher as well. I did not aspire to be a baker or a teacher from the very beginning. These two roles came to be a part of my life much later, especially teaching. I did work in the computer industry for a couple of years before I gave it up to look after my girls.
Oh, I must say, it's always a blessing when you take a decision to stay at home and look after your kids. You know, Ansela, it's often said that sometimes the people who are the most closest to us, you know, our family and friends, they could either build us up or just watch us crumble under pressure. What's your take on this?
As for me, Nats, the reason I'm able to successfully juggle between the different roles is only because of my loving and supportive family. My twist with baking actually began only because of my girls. You see, they have got a very, very sweet tooth. And you know how kids are, right? They always want to eat something different. They want fancy birthday cakes. And since I had a lot of time on my hand, I decided why not try my hand at baking. So I tried different recipes. The internet was my guide, and I learned a lot from it. And as I practiced, I got a little better. My family always encouraged me to try new things. And when they thought that, you know, I was good enough, they encouraged me to take orders. In fact, my mom-in-law played a very important role here. She was the first one to ask me to start taking orders and also introduce my goodies to some of her friends.
That's so inspiring to you, Ansela, really inspiring.
In fact, each and every family member has played a very important role here. My girls and my husband, Mario, they are my ardent critics. My sister and sister-in-law have provided me with various baking supplies. I just had to call them and, you know, they would send whatever I needed from abroad. My cousins and other members also patronize my baking goods by placing orders and by providing publicity. So a big thank you to Suna, Nisha, Jenny, Pramila, Lulu, Vian, Bev, just to name a few. But all this would not be possible without God's blessing.
Oh, yes, I'll second that, Ansela. I'll definitely second that. Now, you know, we all know that some of our friends are as good as family to us. So, how supportive have your friends been, especially with your baking business?
Yes, Nats, my friends too have been very, very supportive. They have played a very important role here. My besties, Joey is one of them, has always supported me right from the beginning of my journey. I'm really grateful to them. Also grateful to Janet, a home baker herself, who is always willing to share her knowledge with me.
Well, that I will definitely call encouragement, Ansela, because for somebody to share their baking and cooking tips with their friends, definitely great encouragement. And I also know that you are such a faithful friend yourself. So faithful friends will follow you too.
Thank you, Natalie.
Ansela, I do know that you are currently a kindergarten teacher. So what made you move from baking to teaching?
Well, Nats, all I can say is that God had another plan for me. He just didn't want me to settle as a baker. You see, my girls were growing up and they didn't need my help that much. So I had time on my hands to explore other options. I even felt that I was ready to work now and actually wanted to pursue teaching as a career since I realized I loved working with children. Once again, my mom and my mom-in-law encouraged me to complete the teaching course and apply for a job. I was really nervous when I had to give my first lesson. But my mom-in-law, an excellent teacher herself, helped and guided me on how to plan the lesson.
Oh, that's great, Ansela. That's really great. And a special shout out going to Ansela's mother-in-law, Mrs. Jenny Martins, who was my English teacher at St. Joseph's Convent, Bandra. And all the Josephines watching this show today, I'm sure you'll agree with me that Mrs. Martins is one of the best teachers St. Joseph's could ever have. So God bless you, Mrs. Martin. You know, you are truly blessed to have such a great team who supports you, Ancilla. So treat it as a blessing and stay blessed.
Thank you, Natalie.
And we also have Gretchen speaking on how encouragement is one of the key components in true friendship. Now, Gretchen is a freelance architect, and creativity does give her a high. But she says that she's currently pursuing a rigorous training to qualify as an ace juggler between cooking, cleaning, entertaining her own kids, handling their schedules, the tantrums. She said she's done with 3 months and she does hope that this course ends soon. So let's bring on Gretchen and let her share on friendship and how encouragement helps in that area. So Gretchen, I was chatting with Ansela on the same when it comes to friends and how they can either be encouragers or discouragers. And when it comes to friendship, you could either belong to a tribe of women who pick you up and just pull you back on your feet again, or a tribe who just watches you crumble under pressure. So, do you believe that this statement holds true?
That's first of all, I think that first group of women that you're talking about do not come into the category of friends at all. Okay, so but this second group is what friendship is really all about. They are just there when it matters the most. Okay, and that literally describes the friendship that I have with my college friends. That's Sarita, Sulakshna, and myself. Okay, we have literally been together for each other's weddings, babies, functions, birthdays, even through the highs and lows. So I'd like to share with you one day in our lives, okay, which will give you an idea of the rapport we kind of share.
Yes, Gretchen, go ahead. And I believe this experience is something that could help our viewers to understand better how friends can not only be encouragers, but also happy to see you step out of your comfort zone.
Yes, completely, Nat. We always take this trip, these annual trips, okay, to just let our hair down and just get back into grip kind of thing. So and coincidentally, last year at this very time, we were in Bhutan uh, along with our families, and we decided to cross one of the bucket lists, Tiger's Nest, obviously. So yeah, so Tiger's Nest is like this 3 to 4 hour uphill hike, okay, and it's quite a hike. It's a steep hike, and it's quite tough actually. And if you're not in shape, it's very tough. So the rest of our group, they just like bounded off like mountain goats, and we three youngsters, Sarita, Sulakshna, and myself, were left huffing and puffing behind, and it really was exhausting. And when we reached the midway mark in 2 hours, we were exhausted and we were out of breath, and we just didn't want to go further. I mean, even though we had our target in sight, we just didn't want to go further. But we were so tired. But the thing is, we were like three of us were in this together. That was the main criteria of, and so we pushed each other. We really pushed each other. And in fact, when one of us were tired, we'd all take a break. And that break would mean that we would take out whatever munchies and dry fruits and, eat, reminisce, laugh, make fun of somebody who was passing by, and and uh, and capture moments on camera. That's like Sarita's speciality. So she always takes out her camera, and then we move on till the next wave of exhaustion came in. Again take a break, and finally, you will not believe it, we reached 1.5 hour after everybody, and we became a butt of everybody's joke. But it was priceless, and it's a memory and it kind of defines us completely. So yeah, that was how it went about. And then coming back when we were descending, being the little more adventurous of the lot, I suggested that we go down an unconventional route, which no one had taken. And as luck would have it, we got lost. It was about to rain, okay? And but I think it was just the humor, the security of being with them, and maybe just meeting a nice, handsome little Bhutanese guy that just got us to. We reached the bottom, and our guide was panicking completely. But yeah, it was awesome. It was really awesome.
My Gretchen, that was such an encouraging story, and I would like to say, as you speak, and as you were speaking, I could actually feel the joy. I could feel that the bonding between the three of y'all. So thank you for sharing this. It's much for all of us to stop and think how important it is to be encouragers with our friends.
Nats, this so reminds me of this song. Ain't no mountain high enough. It's so apt. It is so apt. I think all of us should make it, our ringtones. Everybody.
Amazing, Gretchen. Amazing. And may the three of you continue to be a blessing and stay encouragers to each other.
Thanks. Thank you, Nat. Thank you.
And before we leave, let me say thank you once again for joining me for a cuppa today and for being part of that tribe to me, who with your support and encouragement motivates me only to do more. Thank you, Gretchen.
Thanks. Thank you, Nat. Thank you.
It's always a pleasure to catch up with my bestie from Singapore, mommy to three adorable children, a fitness instructor to kids between the ages of 5 to 9, one hell of a cook. She makes the most awesome sorpatel and even wine. Meet Ovita D'Souza.
Hi, Nats. It's such a pleasure to be on your show and join you for a cuppa.
So lovely to have you, Ovi. So lovely. Ovi, while we are on this great big discussion about women and how they can be encouragers, I very often have heard statements like these flying around. Statements like, what does she know? She's way younger than me. Or, she's still got to see life. When people talk like this, one may actually wonder, can we really look to younger women to be encouraged?
I believe so, Nats. I believe we definitely can. Let me begin by sharing with you about Leah, my very own bubbly daughter. Being my assistant instructor when I first started my fitness class for kids like 5 years ago, her words of encouragement I will always remember. Mama, put full trust in yourself, she would say, as I am a person who would alter my plans to suit everyone else's. Run your own race first, the kids will follow you. Always embrace even imperfect moments. Because like during drills and races, we have kids falling, hurting themselves, and that would really upset me and make me really nervous. But Leah showed me that being strong and embracing such situations only make things easier to handle. Focus on who I am and all will be well, she often said. And it did work wonders. She always encouraged me to think, behave, manage, take action and make decisions in ways so different from my own. And they have empowered me and brought out the best in me, being so much younger. God bless them. It's such a challenge when people younger than you empower you. And it's only up to us to be humble enough and wise to take it in our stride and be empowered.
Absolutely. So well said. And such a lovely emotional sharing, Ovi. I felt like crying. But I do know that you are blessed with three adorable children and they are blessed to have you as their mom. Ovita, you've already shared that it takes humility to be encouraged by younger women. But how really easy is that?
Sure, it is, Nats. It's just about keeping your ego aside and simply being humble. Humility is a virtue after all. Would like to share with you about Candy, my cousin, who's almost 11 years younger. She flies Emirates based in Dubai and has an immense passion for baking. She has her own page on Instagram, Candy's Creative Cakes. So I love baking my own kids' cakes for their birthdays. I'm not a professional, but I love to do it because I know what they like. So I try to keep it short. So Candy would make these short trips to Singapore on work, and she would hardly land and call me up and say, "Come meet me at the cake store for Phoon Huat." And I would be so ready to go and meet her there, and mainly because I'd be so inspired by all the nitty-gritty ingredients that she would go and buy into making these little lace and intricate flowers. And she would make it sound so easy to do, and always encourage me to try these out, since she knew I liked baking too. So she would always share very vital tips on how to get it right and to go in with confidence. And I did, and I owe a lot to her because of her words of encouragement. It is where today I bake so many cakes, and not only cakes, a variety of breads, bagels, macaroons, and even fugias to go with my salty, which I never happened to make before. So thanks a lot to Candy. God bless her and keep inspiring. So we should be humble enough to learn from our youngsters too. It's a very important quote that I remember, one of the quotes I came across. The greatest enemy to the human soul is self-righteous spirit, which makes man look to themselves for salvation.
So rightly said, Ovita. So rightly said. It's all about humility. It's all about keeping your ego aside. And having known you, I know that this will come to you naturally, definitely, because of the beautiful, humble soul that you are.
On another note about being humble, would like to share how my cousin, also much younger than me, Natasha, has inspired me through her praying ways. What is most captivating about Natasha is how she's able to express so beautifully God's spirituality and blessings and relate it to our daily struggles in life with praise and thanksgiving. The way she recites her prayers leaves me with a profound sense of acceptance and understanding of prayer and thanksgiving. And that's really empowering to me. This has brought about a huge change in the manner I pray to, and I'm able to overcome shyness and be able to share openly my very own testimonies with my family and friends as well now. The praise and worship, the rosaries and Thanksgiving sessions on Zoom with my family every weekend through May have been so inspiring. Something good coming out of this lockdown.
Such a heartwarming sharing, Ovi. So thank you, Ovi, once again for this lovely sharing.
Thank you so much, Nat, for having me share my experiences and giving me, most importantly, the courage to come forward in this women's empowerment drive by you, my youngest, best friend who has inspired me a whole lot, and that's you. I can't deny that.
Thank you, Ovi. Thank you. I'm sure by now we've all got a slightly clearer idea as to which tribe we belong to when it comes to encouraging women. However, but to confirm that, here are a few questions that we could ponder upon over the weekend.
I often wonder, Nats, is as women, are we supportive of other women? Do we encourage or discourage? Are we the type to uplift or are we constantly suppressing them down? You know, I read a very interesting thing, Nats. It was about strong trees, how they stand tall. It's because deep down their roots are intertwined and they support each other. And I'd like to think that as women, we support each other.
Are we that positive vibe that encourages our friends when they face a mighty mountain or challenges and see them through it without expectations? Expectations being the key word here.
Always heard the phrase, behind every successful man, there's a woman. Can you imagine if we could rework on this phrase? Behind every woman is another successful woman, one ensuring to uplift, encourage, and be happy for the other. So, why can't we be encouragers today? What joy to retire in the evening knowing that that tiara on another's head is only shining because you were responsible in polishing it.
Girls, I'm sure you can think of someone who's younger than you, who has inspired you in some way or the other. And I'm sure you being younger can inspire somebody older. Think about it.
Are we women who support, love, and push other women to be their absolute best? And do we stick by them even when they are at their worst?
I'm so grateful to all of these lovely girls, my best girls. Thank you for having a little cuppa and discussion with me all through this week. But most importantly, thank you for being a part of that tribe of women who have not only held my back, but my side, my soul, my spirit, my heart, with your best interest in mind. You've been a tribe of women who have helped me fix my crown. And for that, I am truly grateful to you. And for my viewers today, seek to be encouraged and to encourage. But most importantly, stay inspired.